children of the one Yahweh. Ye are the chosen of the one Yahweh. And he has given his laws to us. Everything belongs to
All right, it's the book of Psalm chapter 37 and verse 32. The wicked watcheth the righteous.
The what?
The wicked watcheth the righteous.
The wicked watcheth the righteous, and what?
And saith to slay him.
And what?
Oh, Salakia. And seeketh to slay him.
That's what they're doing. Give me Psalm the 10th chapter now. And like verse 8. She saw the righteous brother, saw Botham Shem John, and sought to slay him. Who knows about the racist text messages that Amber Geiger was sending, which did not get, I can't believe it, it didn't get brought up in the trial. How did that not get brought up in the trial? Somebody asked Amber Geiger, hey, about buying a German Shepherd, right? And the dude that was trying to sell her the German Shepherd said, I don't know if you want this dog, the dog's racist. And Amber Geiger said, that's fine, I am too. That's what she said. She said that. But for whatever reason, that didn't get brought up in court. Why the hell did that get brought up in court? You don't think a white woman going into a black man's house, innocently killing him, you don't think her being a racist would take, that wouldn't be any part of that?
Do you think the family could have been paid?
You know what? I mean, it hurts to say it, but I think they're just cooning. I think they're just cooning on a level that we haven't seen in a very long time.
For free.
Yeah, I mean, all of them. That's what is so bad about it. They're cooning so bad, we're thinking, are they getting paid off? That's how bad they're cooning.
But then the mama, you watch her interview outside, and I posted this today. I was like, man, it's a shame. We sending our women out here. The mama was 100. Like, just talking the truth. Where's the daddy? We already know what the brother did in court. Then the daddy talking about we want to be friends. We send our women out here to to put the cape on, to talk their truth. It's crazy.
That's the so-called black man in America is looking real weak right now, right?
Stupid.
It's real super weak. Where we at?
It's depressing. It's depressing. Depressing me all day. It's depressing.
It really is depressing. Get Jeremiah 9:1. It's super depressing.
And like Chief brought out, it wasn't the prosecution. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was the jury.
Yeah.
But that shows the success of Christianity. How successful of an enterprise it's been to where, listen, the prosecution, you don't even need them. I can leave it in the hands of the black and Hispanic, and they still manipulate.
It reminds me of the scripture where it says, hey, they'll take the yoke of iron off our necks once we've been destroyed. Our people so destroyed that we'll go, Master don't even got the cake for himself. We gonna go cake for him.
Yeah. Matter of fact, after this, get Lamentations 4:3. Where we at? Jeremiah, matter of fact, get Lamentations 4:3 first. Right? Lamentations chapter 4, verse 3. Because like the brother brought out, the so-called white man, we're so destroyed, you go give us, let us pick whether or not she should be found guilty of this high level of crime. And they're going to say just give her 10 years. What's going on, brother? You got a question? Okay. You see yourself on this sign right here? Your father's nationality? Yeah? What's your father's nationality?
My father?
Yes, sir. African American, right? So notice you got an uncle on your name. Okay. Do you subscribe to the teaching of Kemetic and stuff of that nature?
Correct.
Okay. So where do you believe our people originally come from? Kemet?
Yes.
Okay. So how do we get from Kemet to America? When? I'm not sure, right? Now, why should we embrace the Domitian culture? Why should we? Yeah. What about it? No. I'm totally opposed to Kemet.
Okay. You say you are?
Opposed to it. I hate it.
Why should you follow it?
Now, why should black people follow it? Why should our people?
If you do the history, I guess, and do the research and do the reasons of it and whatnot, you're going to pick up on your own beliefs.
Right.
And for me, I did the reasons and whatnot with everything. You know, the Bible, I got nothing from it. You know, things I got some from it, but with Kemet, I got a lot from it and whatnot.
What'd you get from Kemet?
Just the understanding from all of the other religions. I understand it from the most. It makes sense to me.
Like what about it though? Like what specifically?
As far as where we come from, for me, I did the research. I did my research and whatnot. I go with my. This is how you got to do your research.
I understand you did research. I'm asking what specifically that you researched in Kemet or in Commission culture led you to not only believe that our people descend from Kemet, but that the teachings of Kemet are conducive for our people.
I doing the research. You gotta find links and find other readings.
Like what though specifically?
I have them all on my phone. I don't know them.
Is there anything you can name off the top of your head?
As far as links?
Like no, anything in Commission culture that's good for our people. Like what about it is good for black people?
But so much comes with the Kemetic. For me, it was this divine, sacred thing, and from that's when I learned how to meditate and manifest and whatnot.
Like divine, sacred things. Well, all religions have divine, sacred things, but what about the divine, sacred things in the Commission culture is good for our people?
For me, I'm not going to speak on. I'm just going to say, just do your own research.
Okay. Well, I did my own research. And
Meditation?
Yeah.
You learned meditation in Kemet?
I got all of it from that. Like, I didn't start doing some of the things I'm doing. Like, everything I'm doing now as far as just my growth and my spirituality and whatnot, I just started doing that, so I started reading.
What in Kemet did you read that led you to meditate?
As far as like where our ancestors, my ancestors come from and whatnot, everything.
Hold on. Understand something. Where in Kemet, I'm asking you a very specific question. What did you read in Kemet? What document? Whether it be the Book of the Dead, whether it be the coffin text, what wall, what papyrus did you read that instructed people to meditate? What reading? Hold on, brother. I'm gonna spoil something for you. There's no meditation document in Kemet.
No, I said from me learning that, that's when I kind of grew more spiritual. From me learning.
Okay, what did you learn in Kemet?
As far as where our people come from.
So what your ancestors are a victim of the transatlantic slave trade, correct?
That's how they choose the
I mean, or was that not a crime?
Was
it? It was a crime, right? Yeah. The transatlantic slave. So that's why I'm saying victims of a crime, right? So how are you tying West Africans to Egyptians and saying this is where your ancestors came from?
I feel like we're all the same. Africans are just, we all come from the same place.
But that's not African thought. Gotcha. Africans don't think Egyptians and West Africans are the same people. Africans don't think. But it's a large continent. Gotcha. Yes, the largest continent, right? Correct. So everyone does not identify with each other on that level. Correct. That concept that Africans are just Africans is a very European concept. So when you make the statement about your ancestors, you need to look at things from the view of your ancestors, and your ancestors would not view ancient Egypt, as the place of their origin. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? That's why this whole Egyptomania amongst black people is crazy, because you have no genetic link to Egypt whatsoever, right? And then even a lot of the stuff like I'm seeing you wearing the crystals, doing the meditation, that's all black people in America are teaching about Egyptomania, but they're not referring to any Egyptian documents to substantiate that. They're just gathering a bunch of seemingly spiritual information and they're crediting it to a place that they can't reference it from. You understand what I'm saying? So that's a lot of problems. But go ahead, Salah. I'm on home AT&T, so
Right, the damn internet. But I'm going to read a passage from some Egyptian literature, and you tell me what you get from it, right? This is spell 700 from the coffin text. It says, likewise, it's spell 700 in a passage talking of Geb, you talk about the divine beings of ancient Egypt, Geb, one of them, the deceased, again, uses sodomy as a symbolism of power. Quote, his phallus, talking about his penis, is between the buttocks of his son and his heir. So we see a man having anal sex with his own son in ancient Egypt. Now, we read something like that, and of course it's sick, right? But that's in Kemetic culture. So why, as black people, should we follow something like that? You see what I'm saying? Yeah. That's the type of stuff that we got to start asking ourselves. Because once you read something like that, to me, I'm taking that off. You see what I'm saying? That's from the coffin text in Egypt, right? So, matter of fact, this is why when you read the Bible, give me Leviticus 18:3, and then get verse 22, because I'm going to show you something. Because when you read the story of the Bible, right, when you read about the Israelites, they came out of Egypt, and the Lord, the Most High God, then the Most High God gave us certain laws. Thou shalt nots. So I'm about to read you one of the thou shalt nots in the Bible. Go ahead.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 18, verse 3. After the doings of the land of Egypt.
After what?
The land of Egypt.
After the doings of the land of Egypt, go ahead.
Wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do.
Shall you what?
Shall ye not do.
So he said, don't do what the Egyptians did. Why? Because it lists a bunch of things that they did. Verse 22, watch this.
Verse 22. Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is an abomination.
Homosexuality was rampant in ancient Egypt. You know this, right? So if you know this, brother, why would you want to claim to be Egyptian? When
I'm not claiming. I'm still learning.
Right.
I said, but this is the only reading that I got that makes sense for me at this moment. I
Okay.
said, I read the Bible. I said, it didn't make any sense.
That's because we've been taught the wrong.
Yeah, true. But I'm trying to understand something, brother. Real quick. You said you read the Bible and you didn't get a lot of understanding from it. Okay. But you then said, not only did you know homosexuality is rampant in Egypt, but if that's the case, brother, then why didn't you read that and say, damn, well then that makes sense to you?
I still look at it like we come from somewhere, and all of that stuff happened everywhere and whatnot. But there's nothing I can do about the past. But I do feel like within every religion, every race, every family, these type of things happen.
But it's not promoted in the Bible. It's promoted in Kemetic culture. Incest is promoted in Kemetic culture. A lot of times, our people get caught up with the commercial. But a lot of our times, our people, we were the pharaohs and the kings and the queens. There was only one pharaoh. Everybody else, there was a high class, small minority made up that, and everybody else was on the bottom. When you look at the diet of the average Egyptian, I can't remember during what dynasty, but it was literally, and I'm not making this up, you can do the research yourself, it was beer, bread, and pork. Yeah, beer, bread, and pork. Beer, bread, and pork. What other society do we see the average diet being beer, bread, and pork? Here in the great old United States of America. Now, would you say that the United States of America is a good place that our people should try to take after the customs of them? To take after their customs and their ways of doing things? No. Well, if we see parallels between the United States of America and the stuff that they do and the stuff that ancient Egypt does, or did rather, and you said you wouldn't want to do the stuff that America does, then you shouldn't want to do the stuff that Egypt did. You shouldn't want to do the stuff that Egypt did because, like we just brought out, it's not conducive for our people. The Bible is conducive for our people. Now, like this brother brought out, the reason why you read the Bible and may have not gotten the proper understanding from it is because you probably looked at it from maybe a Christian mindset. And I'm not saying that you did that intentionally, but maybe subconsciously, because Christianity, the way it's been taught in the Western Hemisphere, has been systematically beaten into our people. So you don't read it as it's supposed to be read. You read it from however your pastor told you to read it, and however the white slave master told you to read it. Like, for example, give me Exodus 21:16. You ever heard of something called the Slave Bible?
Yes.
They took out a whole bunch of verses in the Bible because they didn't want us to read it. Because if we actually read the truth of the Bible, then we wouldn't be brainwashed by a religion like Christianity. So let me show you a chief example of that. Exodus 21:16.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 21, verse 16. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him.
Now, were we not stolen from West Africa and sold on an auction block? So it said, if you steal a man and sell him,
Or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death.
so the Bible says the punishment for what they did to our ancestors is death. But they can't put that in the Bible. The slave master don't want you to read that because once you read that, you know that he's a liar. And then you start to figure out who you are according to the Bible. So what we're out here to do is to teach these people on this side, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, that they are the children of Israel according to the Bible, the best people on the earth. Not Egyptians, not Canaanites, not any of these other things. We're the Israelites, the best people on the planet. And we have a God that we serve, and we have perfect laws that we have been given to follow. You have something called the 42 Negative Confessions of Ma'at. Well, we have 613 laws, better laws, things of that nature. We have a society that doesn't promote homosexuality, incest, pedophilia, murder, things of that nature. You have bestiality. They don't have sex with animals in ancient Egypt too, right? Also, necrophilia. That was huge in ancient Egypt. When you go into the history of it, and y'all can look this up yourselves, the reason why they, when they would, was it King Tut? I think when they buried him, everybody died along with him. They closed, everybody died with him. A lot of the reason why they went so out of their way to mummify and to hide a lot of their pharaohs is because of necrophilia. Necrophilia was rampant in ancient Egypt. They were having sex with dead people, with dead bodies. That's what they were doing. But the Bible forbids that. So shouldn't we follow something that's better clearly for us than that? Go ahead, brother.
And maybe it's just me because I didn't have the same background in the church growing up. But when I started opening up the Bible and started reading it, it's very clear. It's not a negotiation.
Right.
It's not negotiation. It's thou shalt not.
Right.
So the confusion when I hear brothers say, "Oh, well, I didn't," or "I thought it meant this," or "I thought it,"
Right.
read the verse again. You know, it's clear.
It's clear.
You know, it's not a negotiation.
That's a beautiful
And
point.
maybe that's me because I didn't come from a church background,
Right.
but even if I did, if I was old enough to open it up and read it myself, I'd be looking around the church and asking questions.
Right.
And we tired of negotiating.
Right. Well, give me Proverbs the 8th chapter. Start around verse 8, because I remember my father told me since I was like, when I was this tall, he had to still tie my shoes. He would always tell me he's not going to force religion upon me, because he used to always say this. He believed that I would find the truth. He would use that phraseology, the truth. He didn't know what the truth was. I could have found Islam for whatever he knows. But he believed that I would find the truth. That's why when my grandma or my mom would try to get me to go to church, I wouldn't go. Because I just knew something inside of me just innately knew that's not right in there. I always knew since I was a child that Christ was a so-called black man. I knew it.
And
It was just inside of me.
Salaki, another thing that I'm noticing that I have a hard time understanding, because I try to get other people's vision,
Right.
point of view. I don't find that religious aspect in it. I find customs.
Right. Get Nehemiah 9:13. And I'm sure you wanted to comment on that. That's it. Yeah. That's a beautiful point, because again, that goes back to, even if, like the brother brought out, he wasn't raised in a Christian background, but a lot of times just living in America, subconsciously, the way that a lot of our people think is based off of Christianity, whether you go to the Christian church or not. Because even if you yourself don't go to the Christian church, your mother or your father went to the Christian church and they teach you. So the stuff that they get is from that religious aspect, right? And not just your mother or your father, your grandmother, your school teacher, right? All people that you really interact with in life, a lot of times they come from that Christian background. But like the brother brought out, there is no religion in the Bible. We're going to show you what there is in the Bible. Nehemiah 9:13.
All right, so book in Nehemiah chapter 9, verse 13, thou camest down also upon Mount Sinai, and spakest with them from heaven, and gavest them right judgments.
We got right judgments
and true laws, good statutes, and commandments.
Nowhere was religion mentioned. Laws, statutes, commandments. That's what we were given. It didn't say anywhere to be a Presbyterian, be a Jehovah's Witness, be a Mormon, be a however many denominations they got, Scientologist, Seventh-day Adventist. We were given laws, statutes, and commandments. That's what the Bible gives us. But I understand why you think the way that you thought, brother, because guess what? I was once the same way. I was once the same way, like, man, this Bible don't make no sense. That's the white man's book. So I started dibbling and dabbling into other things. Not into Kemetic like you did, but Islam, right? I remember watching Cal Muhammad, Malcolm X, man, they're bringing out the truth. I want to be like that. But the problem was not with the Bible. The same way, what's an axe used for? Chopping a tree. You can kill someone with an axe, though, can you? So do you blame the axe, or do you blame the person wielding the axe? You blame the person wielding the axe, right? You blame the person. It's not the axe's fault. Someone took the axe and killed somebody with it. The same way, okay, let's say I'm writing my name. Let's say I misspelled my name. Is it the pen's fault that I misspelled my name, or is it my fault? No, it's my fault. So the same way that someone could take an axe and do something wrong with it, or a pen and misspelled something, it's the same way people took the Bible and did something wrong with it. So we don't blame the scriptures, we blame the people who took the scriptures and twisted them. You see what I'm saying, brother? Where you at? Proverbs 8 and start at verse 8.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 8. All the words of my mouth are in righteousness. There is nothing forward or perverse in them.
There's nothing forward or perverse about the scriptures, but a lot of times we'll read stuff in the scriptures, and because we come from a Christian subconscious background, we'll read something in the Bible and automatically associate it with Christianity instead of reading it like it's supposed to be read. Go ahead.
They are all plain to him that understandeth.
If you have understanding, it's plain. It's clear what it's saying. Go ahead.
And right to them that find knowledge.
And write to them that find knowledge. But the problem with a lot of our people is, give me Hosea 4:6. A lot of our people don't have that knowledge. But there's a reason behind everything that we say. We don't have knowledge because we rejected knowledge. The same way, brother, that you're following Egypt right now, it's the same way when we left ancient Egypt, when we got let out of there during the Red Sea, we wanted to go right back. And that's how we know who the Israelites are. What people on the earth are just so infatuated with the Egyptian culture? The Israelites were infatuated with the Egyptian culture. That's us. That's why in Isaiah, I believe it says, woe unto those that go to Egypt for help. We always wanted to go back into Egypt. So it makes sense that a lot of people want to go back in a philosophical way now. A lot of people want to actually move back to Egypt. Let's retake Egypt. That's not going to happen. Go ahead.
This is Hosea chapter 4 verse 6. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge.
So real quick, brother. It said that the words of the Most High God are plain. I got it right. The words of the Most High are plain to those that have understanding. So if you don't read this Bible from a Christian mindset, it's going to be plain. Like, for example, when it says that Christ's hair was like wool and his feet were like burnt brass. Now, to us, that's clear. It says what it says. You got dark skin, you got an afro. But you talk to a Christian, oh, no, brother, that means he was glorious, brother. That means, he was shining. No. Because of what Christianity teaches and the lies that it instills into our people, now we don't understand what the Bible's saying. But if you just look at it from a non-religious aspect, then you start to figure out what it's saying. Go ahead.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge.
That's why our people don't have knowledge, because we rejected knowledge. When you read in the Bible about the children of Israel, it said God dealt with us like his children, because that's what we are. We're his children as individuals. As a nation, we're like his wife. But we always rejected the Most High God. We always disobeyed him. So because we disobeyed him, he let us do what we wanted to do. And now it resulted into us getting put on a cargo slave ship and shipped from one side of the earth to the other. So we can look into history, and every time we disobeyed the Lord, bad things happen to us. Shouldn't we try to do the opposite now? I mean, we tried everything, haven't we? Black man, American, Hispanic man, I mean, we've tried damn near everything except following God. It wouldn't hurt to just give it a shot, would it? Go ahead. I mean, you tried loving your oppressor and going to the Christian church and bowing down to the white Jesus. That didn't get anything but Amber Geiger 10 years in damn prison. Right. So why don't you try serving the Most High God and see what that gets? Just try it. Just try. Just see what happens. Right? You know when you dip your foot in the pool just to see. Oh, okay. Well, just try it. Go ahead.
All right, this is the book of Revelations, chapter 19, verse 1. And after these things, I heard a great voice.
Okay, go ahead.
Of much people in heaven saying, Hallelujah, salvation and glory and honor and power unto the Lord our God. For true and righteous are his judgments. For he hath judged the great whore, which did corrupt the earth with her fornication, and hath avenged the blood of his servants at her hand.
You see that the great whore is talking about the United States of America. That's the great whore that has done all this wickedness to our people. So when things like Amber Geiger getting only 10 years in prison, she's only going to serve 5 of those years. When those happen, we don't get marveled by this type of stuff. It just shows who God's people are. Because give me Zechariah 11:5. Then after this, we're going to go through the book of Deuteronomy. After this, get Deuteronomy 28. Because this is a power verse and it speaks about Egypt. So when you read the scriptures, like we said, from a non-religious background, you can start to see yourself in the Bible. Now, do we force ourselves in the Bible? No. But we read it and it just becomes clear. Wait a minute, that's talking about my people. It's just clear as day. Like, if you just read Deuteronomy the 28th chapter, I remember when I first heard it, I didn't need to go to my pastor and ask him, sir, what does this mean? It becomes clear as day. It said, for example, that after this, get Isaiah 3:16. I'm not even going to break it down. I'm going to just ask you what it means to you. Go ahead. Zechariah 11:5, then get Isaiah 3:16. Throughout the scriptures, it becomes quite evident who the children of Israel are.
Bring it out.
And it's not the people in Israel right now.
That's right.
And we can prove that beyond a shadow of a doubt. Go ahead.
This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 11, verse 5. Whose possessors slay them?
Whose possessors slay them? Are we not possessed by white people? Were we not sold as property? It says they kill us, they slay us,
and hold themselves not guilty.
What people are a possession to another people are killed, and the people that killed them get off scot-free. What people does that happen to? It happens to our people in America. It doesn't happen to anybody else on the planet Earth.
They still running around collecting 90-year-old Jewish men that have been hiding out from the so-called Holocaust.
Yep.
They still finding them old men and making them go to prison.
Right. Yes, something Nightster is 97 years old, got Parkinson's, can barely move, and they're throwing him in for being a brother. I remember the last Nazi that they put in jail, he didn't even put anybody in the gas chamber. He was just a guard for the door. He just took people's damn fingerprints and took things of that nature. And he got life in prison. But let a so-called white woman go into a black man's house, shoot him dead, and she gets 10 years, and she'll only serve 5 of those.
And they didn't want to give her that, believe me.
Right. They wanted to get her off scot-free. But let.
Was her first plea was not guilty?
Right.
She's fighting her case.
Right. And here's what's cool about that. There have been brothers, not to say that selling weed is okay, but there are brothers that are serving time right now, probably 25 plus, for selling a nickel bag, man. Selling a damn dime.
I did 6 years at 18 for selling marijuana.
You see that? Now you went to jail.
Penitentiary.
You went to the pen for longer for selling weed than a woman who murdered a human being. Not just any human being.
In their own house.
In their own house while he was eating ice cream, watching the Atlanta Falcons. You see that? How crazy is that? But now, get Isaiah 3:16.
This the book of Isaiah chapter 3 verse 16.
Now this is a perfect example of you read the scriptures and it becomes clear who it's talking about. Let me show you something, brother. Isaiah chapter 3 verse 16. Just listen, and as you listen, try to think in your head, who is this talking about? Think about in real time, right now, what people fit the description of what this is talking about. Go ahead.
Moreover, the Lord said, because the daughters of Zion are haughty and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes.
It said because the daughters of Zion, the women of the children of Israel are proud and they walk proud. Go ahead.
Walking and mincing as they go and making a tinkling with their feet. Therefore, the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion.
What women, real quick, brother, you listening? What women have a problem growing hair? A lot of them. Our women. Are there any women on the planet Earth that have a problem growing hair besides ours? So, but the Bible said that there would be women that had a hard time growing hair. Go ahead. Read it again.
Therefore, the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion.
So what people fit that? Our people only. Go ahead.
And the Lord will discover their secret parts.
Go ahead.
In that day, the Lord will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments about their feet and their calls and their round tires like the moon.
Their what?
Their round tires like the moon.
Their round tires like the moon. It's talking about them hoop earrings that they wear. Our sisters wear that. Go ahead. Now keep going. It gets a lot deeper than that. So you have women that have a hard time growing hair, wear hoop earrings. Go ahead.
The chains and the bracelets and the mufflers, the bonnets and the ornaments.
The what?
The bonnets and the ornaments of the legs.
How do you get around that? I want to know how you get around that. What women is this talking about?
Is it safe to say we talking about weaves and alopecia?
Yes. Yes.
Exactly what it is.
Yes.
And it's the women of Zion.
Yes. That's exactly what we're talking about. Yes. Yes.
Jen woke up.
Yes.
And it describes the way they dress and walk around.
Right, well, brothers, that's listen, this is only the tip of the iceberg. Go ahead.
And the headbands and the tablets and the earrings.
Are these not things that are essentials? I mean, we're beyond that. We already know that. Let's keep going.
The rings and the nose jewels, the changeable suits of apparel, and the mantles and the wimples and the crisping pins.
Okay, where are we at? Give me in there, man. Okay, verse 25. Now watch this. Now we got the description of these women and what they wear. Watch this. Watch verse 25. And okay, I might pass it off after this. Well, I might have to drop the mic after this. Go ahead.
Thy men shall fall by the sword.
What women have that dressed like that, have all that on, go through all that, and their men get killed? And their men shall fall by the sword. Go ahead.
And thy mighty in the war, and her gate shall lament and mourn, and she shall be desolate. Shall sit upon the ground.
So what women go through all that, then their man dies, and then you see Hussein Philando Castile Remember the brother in Minnesota? He got killed right in front of his girlfriend and his daughter. And remember his wife was just sitting there crying. That's that in the Bible right there. That's irrefutable. That's indisputable. There's no getting around that. So
Every day in the hood. That's it.
that's it.
That's boys in the hood. That's menace to society.
There you go. Now, to you, to everybody, to every one of us, we can relate to that. That's why when you look at it, like the reason why I brought it out, when you look at it from a non-religious aspect, it's clear. Like the brother, that's the first you ever heard about that right there?
I've read it, but again, I'm listening to you, and now it makes more sense than when I read it.
Right.
You know, but I read it before. I read it like 4 days ago. But now, when you said the crown of the head, I'm like, wow, like I never saw it until, you know what I mean?
Right.
Makes sense?
And it becomes clear as day.
Yeah. 'Cause
But for so long,
I'm always like super anti.
where's that at? Oh, I skipped it. Go ahead. I didn't even take all the meat out the bone. My bad. Go ahead.
Right. In the hoods and the veils, and it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smells, there shall be stink, and instead of a girdle, a rent.
Instead of what?
Instead of a girdle, a rent.
Who knows what that means? Instead of a girdle, a ring.
Gut.
Right. A gut. That's right, brother. So what women could this possibly be talking about? That's why. Right. Go on.
See a picture of a girl, she's gonna have her hand over her stomach and she's subconscious about that stuff.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, we'll probably just post her ass as much as you can, right?
But then-
there's gonna be an RIP picture on there, and then she's gonna have somebody who's gonna
Yeah.
that hole.
Yeah. Right there. You go on Instagram. But Bible prophecy is fulfilled on Instagram every single day. Every single day. What's that page? The Welcome to Atlanta page? That's Bible. That's biblical prophecy right there, brother. But real quick too, brother. Just going into that. No other women go through that. No other women have a problem with the rent. You go to you look at them Ethiopian girls, something like that. They don't. Go to Africa.
I did that previously. I'm gonna show. I said, look at the girls. You go to the pages with the Nigerian girls. They're not gonna like this. I'm talking about they be having all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what the backside looks like. But you know, since it's here though, they have that.
Yeah. And that's what the Bible says. And that's like, I mean, to me, this is me speaking. I feel like that's top 5 verses proving who the Israelites are. I mean, let's just be honest. You cannot get around that. We really don't. We really need to go into it more because let's just use the process of elimination, right? Does the Asian woman fit this?
No.
No. Okay. Does the most African women in Africa they fit this? No, they don't. Do white women fit this? Clearly not. Who are we left with? Arab women. They don't fit this. Who the hell fits this? Who? Our people fit that.
It's that scab on the crown, right?
Yes.
Dude,
That's when they get when they be perming their hair all the time, put all them damn chemicals in their hair.
That's it, right? All right. Wow.
Can't get around that, can you? It's over after that. That's game, set, match. Who remembers the what's the documentary Chris Rock came out with?
Bad hair.
Good hair.
Good hair.
That's good hair right there. Wow. See that? Yeah. And don't a lot of sisters get made fun of for not being able to grow hair?
Right.
That's in the Bible.
This Somali girl told me one time that she's a Muslim. She came to school every day with her head in her hijab. She let it out one day for picture day, and she said it was Levi and Benjamin proceed to beat the hell out of her. And this is an elementary school.
Right.
Why? Because they had some type of jealousy about it.
You see that? We'll bring out what you got. Then give me 2 Ezra 2 and 27 because our sisters envy them right now. But don't worry. There's going to come a day where the daughters of Zion are going to be put back on the pedestal in which they belong. Because they're already, but despite all that, despite all those curses right there, they're still the best people on the planet.
That's right.
It says, and real quick too, you know, we sometimes sisters feel like we bash them. Too. We don't bash our sisters. We love our sisters, but the man is not above correction. The same way the woman is not above correction. The scriptures say that I want to say it was Susanna was so beautiful that they were crying. That people were crying. You see a woman, you just cry. She was so beautiful.
That's a bad man.
Yeah. Bad man jammer. Go ahead.
All right, this is the book of Exodus, chapter 11 and verse 7. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue.
You got nothing to say against us. Not a dog move his tongue. Go ahead.
Against man or beast, that ye may know that the Lord doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel.
So, brother, the Lord put a difference between us and the Egyptians.
That's right.
We're no longer Egyptians. So I want you to take that ankh off. No more wearing that ankh, brother.
That's right.
No?
No, not that no disrespect, but I had to still do the research first.
Okay, that's fine.
No,
All right, no, I got you. That's fine. That's fine. All right. Okay, do the research, and then Lord willing, when you do the research, you'll come to the conclusion that everything that we've been saying is true, because it's not our words, it's what the Bible says. All praise to the Most High. Where are we at? 2 Ezra 2 and 27. Right, because the brother gave a testimony about the Somalian girl letting down her hair. She got flowing hair. So-called black women, they ain't like that. But guess what? There's going to be a day where our sister's hair is going to be beautiful like that once again. We envy them to a degree right now, but they envy us, and there's going to come a day where they really envy us. When we really call Jesus Christ comes to redeem us and only us. Bring that up.
It's the book of 2 Esdras, chapter 2, verse 27. Be not weary, for when the day of trouble is and heaviness cometh, others shall weep and be sorrowful, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance.
Is it 26 that I wanted? Okay, no, keep going. It said, don't worry, because when bad things happen, we're going to be taken care of. Keep going.
Verse 28, the heathen shall envy thee.
The what?
The heathen shall envy thee.
The heathen, the other nations, they're going to envy us. They're going to want to be just like us. They're going, the same way that our sisters going to want to bleach their damn skin to look like them, they're going to be going, I mean, they already do right now. They already go get in their damn sunbeds. Spray tan, go sit in that damn tanning bed. They already try to look like us. Look at Kylie Jenner, made $1 billion off of trying to look like you.
Hey, white women's is wearing weaves now too.
They wear the fusion. They wear the fusion.
Yeah.
But they shall be able to do nothing against thee.
But they shall read that again. I'm gonna end off that. Go ahead.
Verse 28, the heathen shall envy thee, but they shall be able to do nothing against thee.
The heathen are gonna envy us, but they're not gonna be able to do a damn thing about it. And with that, I want to give all praise to the Most High God and pass it off to the next brother.
Hey, Chief.
What's up, man?
The brother said that when that scripture, Isaiah 3 and 16 came out, he was shook, he was in shock. He said he read it, but he never understood it until the brother read it.
I understood the stiff-necked part, but the crown, that's what blew my mind, because I'm so anti-weave, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, that really messed me up.
I think it's Jeremiah 3 and 15 where it speaks on that, how we're going to get a better understanding in these scriptures. I'd like to pull that verse. Jeremiah 3:15.
Jeremiah 3:15. Let me get Acts 8 and 30. Go ahead as well. Go ahead. Yeah, Jeremiah first. 3:15.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 3 and verse 15. It says, and I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding.
Yeah, exactly. That's why Most High raising up brothers in the actual spirit, man.
Right.
These people, they go, the average Christian read Isaiah 3, he's not even, yeah, brother, this happened to Israel. Next chapter, right? Now, matter of fact, let's keep going. Get Acts 8:30, and we're going back to Isaiah 3 real quick. I'm gonna go into one of my infamous breakdowns tonight. And the spirit just hit me. We're gonna go to the infamous breakdown, right? Who knows the breakdown I'm talking about? You know the breakdown I'm going into? Go ahead.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 8, verse 30. And Philip ran thither to him. Verse 31. And he said, how can I, except some man should guide me?
So, read 30.
Verse 30. And Philip ran thither to him and heard him read the prophet Isaiah.
He heard him reading the book of Isaiah. Read.
And said, understandest thou what thou readest?
What's interesting is the prophet Isaiah. That's crazy too, right? We read Isaiah, right? But he asked him a question. He said, do you understand what you read, right? Read.
And he said, how can I, except some man should guide me?
How the hell I'm supposed to know if somebody don't teach me, right? So that's crazy, but it's beautiful, it's powerful. We go back to Isaiah, Acts 8:30 to 31.
Shalom, what's going on? It's your brother, Chief Priest Alazar Lawyer, aka the Guerrilla Hebrew, and I'm just letting y'all know I just dropped my official clothing line, Urban Guerrilla. Go to urbangorilla.com right now to check us out, man, and pick something up. That's urbngrla.com. We got all kind of items for men, women, children, even infants, as well as fragrance oil, smell goods. You can also check out Hebrew Israelite Clothing Co., another Sicarii business, on Instagram and Facebook. And as always, you can hit up deaconsicari.com to get your plug on the scarves, the music, and the children's Bibles. Thanks for your time. All praise to the Most High. Kwam Yasharallah. Shalom.